Here are 4 statements that we make at some point throughout our lifetime that limits us in the most stagnant way. If you're looking for a relationship and you've been wondering why, like, oh my gosh, how am I not meeting anybody? I don't understand what's going on. Or all the people that I'm meeting, they only meet, the requirements of who I used to be or the ones I used to have. But based on who you are now, you just keep getting the same type of people, making advances towards you, taking you on dates. They may even present themselves as one way, but show up as something completely different, like maybe in a few dates or maybe a little bit time later. So let's talk about it. Now, the first statement that gets you locked into a limiting belief system about your mate is, I don't want to get to know anybody new. This is normally for the person who has been dating around in certain dating groups where a lot of friends have dated this, amongst each other or around acquaintances, and they kind of know like the whole vibe of the person or the people, so it makes them feel comfortable. But understanding that when you're around people who aren't growing, you will continue not to grow. You will always have the same type of experiences, do the same type of things. And for some people, that is comfortable because it's definitely a comfort zone, but it keeps you from moving forward, advancing, and growing. This is as good as it's going to get, is the second one. Now, this one, man, the way this one gets you caught up. Basically, you have now set a limit for yourself that based on where you are, the relationships that you have, the people that are in your life, this is as good as it's going to get for you. So let's say you start going through your healing journey and you decide, you've done some healing. This is what I want now. You're trying to manifest, but you have now forgotten that you have spoken those words over yourself and to yourself. Your subconscious did not forget. So that may be the reason why you have now written a list of who it is and what type of partner you want, what you're looking for, what you're trying to manifest, and nothing is coming through the way that you would like it to. It's because these words have been spoken and you need to recall those words back. And normally you can do that within meditation. You can work with your spirit team, your higher self. You can do that in many different ways. You can even set intentions to call back any words, thoughts, or actions that you have done prior to this moment that doesn't align with your divine purpose and destiny and the growth that you have encountered in your life and in your spiritual walk. Now, I myself have said this a long time ago, and I went back and was like, give me them words back, because I don't want to hear it. I don't see myself with anyone else. Well, of course you don't, because currently right now, you with the person. And you may be fearing being alone. You may be thinking, especially if you have children, if you have children with someone in your mind, when you are a woman, you are committed to the safety and security that relationship brings for you. Even if it doesn't bring much, you'll hold on to the little tiny string of security you have of it existing. Okay? But the problem with that is, no matter what decisions you've made in the relationship, around the relationship, if you have kids or not, until you are happy, no one else around you is going to fully be happy, because your misery or your sadness or your unhappiness is going to radiate. Everything that you do is going to show up in everything you do and how you do it. You won't be able to be your full self because you're trying to hold on to this thread of hope that if I just commit to this, no matter how bad it is, it will turn into something that I desire, which never happens. I don't care how much counseling they go to. I don't care how much whether they stop drinking or not. Your relationship is going to renew as something completely different, not what it was before. That honeymoon phase or what it was before lived in that moment. It no longer exists. It is now something different, and you will have to be committed to embracing what it has been and what it has now become, because you cannot release something that you have not fully embraced. And this is my last one. We have too much history to start over. Man, If I can tell you how many times I've heard someone say this to me in counseling sessions, in regular conversations, when I'm giving advice to somebody, they literally, we have too much history. I'ma just stick it out. So you have all the signs that it's no longer aligning with you. You feel abandoned, which is misalignment. You feel unheard, which is because they're misaligned. You're depressed because you're stuck. You're stuck in a space of, I got to work on this thing, when your being is telling you it's time to move on. So yesterday I asked Spirit a question because something popped into my head. I was wondering why divorce feels like a tearing apart, or even like relationships ending. Why does that feel like a ripping apart? And it's because we stay too long. You have to think about your auric field as multi-layers, but also they intertwine like the Vesica Pisces. So your auric field intertwines with other people's auric field, and the deeper your connection, as far as like if you've had sex with them, if you have if y'all are soulmates, if y'all are twin flames, if y'all have any kind of deep intimate connections, and it may not be necessarily intimacy but a deep connection, then you're going to have a lot of entanglement. So while things are great, everything is going to feel like it's vibing, and it's going to feel amazing. It's going to feel really connected. But when it's not, and it's trying to release, your being knows, your soul knows it's time to release. Your spirit knows it's time to release. Your auric field knows that it's time to release. But your subconscious mind, your ego, and your inner critic has literally been stuck in this vibe of, but this is what we know. Even though this is an unsafe space, it's safer than what we don't know. I know all there is to know about this person, so then I would have to learn someone else. And what if they're not being honest with me? Newsflash. If somebody is living their life as though they want to be with you, but they really don't want to be with you, and they're not fully committed to showing up in the relationship, the way that they're supposed to, they already lying to you. So what does that look like? This is my one-time favorite example of what that would look like. If you ask a person for something in a relationship, let's say you want them to be more affectionate, you want them to listen to you, that you want them to go out more with you, you want to spend time with them with other couples, and they don't want to do it. If you get mad, hurt, cry, if you want to leave, and they offer that to you, it means that the person could have always done it. They just chose not to. A person choosing not to do something in a relationship because they don't want to means that they now have their own agenda, their own vision for their life that doesn't include you in certain areas. So you holding on is literally showing up as two bubbles that are pulling apart naturally. Okay, the universe is naturally pulling you apart because that is the energy of the connection. One person is holding on, one person is pulling apart. The person who's holding on is only pulling away at the areas that they do not feel comfortable, do not feel safe, or where they're not happy. So it creates all type of confusion and distortion, and it feels like literally being beat up, like emotionally, mentally. Just it is exhausting, it is frustrating, it can be overwhelming. Letting go and allowing each person, yourself and that person, to be responsible for their own decisions, their own actions, and taking an opportunity to step back gives you a moment to come to the truth of what things truly are, and to understand that that person or yourself has made a different decision, and it is okay to honor that. Regardless of your reason, that's something that you have to live with, and you have to allow people to live in their own karma and the choices that they make. Put in simplest terms, you can only save yourself. So if your beliefs are limiting you from being able to have the love of your life or to find love, you can change that. Call that energy back, call back those words, and release them.